You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We have a special guest in the building. He has so many hats, so many different jobs. Right now, he's currently the vice chairman of Sean Combs Enterprise and Revolt TV. And did I get that right?
You got that right.
We have Andre Harrell in the building. Good morning, sir. Welcome back.
He always comes right before Revolt Music Conference.
Right.
That's right. That's right. 100%.
The rest of the year, we're like, come see us.
I would come see y'all anytime. Y'all want to talk about anything.
You
go champagne and bubbles here.
Champagne and bubbles.
He keeps on saying that. All right, so let's talk about Revolt Music Conference this year. I know, Envy, you're doing a panel, right?
Yes, I'm doing the DJ panel. I think it's me, Khaled, I want to say Flex, and I'm not sure who else.
Damn, I got y'all on the same panel?
Yeah, it's the biggest DJs in the country.
It is you, Calic Flex, and as soon as I'm trying to find your paper, DJ Drama.
And Drama.
Is that going to be tense at all?
No.
All right, I'm just asking.
We all cordial and cool. Ain't going to be no problem.
It's
talking about.
His panel is called Respect the DJ, Beyond the Turntables. These are DJs who make $10 million and up.
Right.
In case y'all didn't know.
$10 million
Don't put
and
that
up.
out there. Jack Boy's already looking for you there.
You owe me some money, though. All right, and let's talk about what you're doing this year. So I saw that some artists will have an opportunity to sit down in front of you.
Yes, we have this program called Be Heard where people can mail in their tapes, and then we'll have a showcase on Thursday from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and we'll have Sean Garrett, we'll have Dre and Cool, and we'll have myself. And we'll go through it till we get to the top 10, and the number one choice will get to perform on Revolt TV on a show called Sessions. And the reason we came up with this is because a lot of times at the panels, when people step up and the moderator says, well, what question would you like to ask? And the person will say, I just like to spit 16, and just go spit 16.
Right.
So we want to take that out of it and give it the proper place so people can come and try to get a record deal if that's what they came to do. And then when we're at the other panels, people can ask questions.
Now, how do they really enter for this opportunity? Because I know nobody's mailing in tapes anymore. Are they?
Yes, they're mailing in. They're mailing in DATs. They're not actually mailing in cassettes. They're mailing in DATs or emailing the DATs. And we've had 300 entries.
Wow. Anything good?
To be honest, it didn't get to me yet.
So that means not good yet.
So somebody people filter it down for you, and then they're like, okay, these are the ones that are.
So now, previously, you guys were at the Fountain Blue. You guys are not there anymore. Why did you guys decide to move?
Because the Fountain Blue couldn't give us the whole hotel. They had sold a piece of the hotel to somebody else, and we want the whole hotel to be the Revolt Music Conference.
Right.
Now, from the Revolt Music Conference, has there been anybody that has actually got signed or I should say, did their thing, blew up, exploded from the Revolt Music Conference?
I'm sitting here with a face like that didn't happen. Bryson Tiller.
Bryson
Tiller was discovered at RMC by somebody who worked at RMC.
Oh, believe me, I know. Shout out to Neil. Big
shout out to Neil.
Neil grabbed him. Neil was my intern.
Was he your intern?
He was my intern.
He's good.
He grabbed him and brought him to me, and I wouldn't listen.
He did?
Yeah.
He brought him to me, too, and I ain't listened.
Oh, man, what's wrong with the music industry? You didn't listen either?
I listened to it, but I didn't get it as intense as he got it.
Right.
Like, sometimes when you're trying to get people caught up to where you are, you gotta get them in the car, don't push it on them.
Absolutely.
Let them hear for a while, and let them say, what was that again?
Yes.
But when you come and say, this is Jodeci.
Whoa.
You like,
that's big shoes to fill.
That's a lot. Like on your first listen, you're like, Jodeci?
But I guess somebody has to be really passionate about it if they want you to listen, because you can't just be like, listen, just check this out in your spare time, because you probably won't listen to that either then.
No, I would listen to Neil because Neil worked with me.
Right. He worked with Envy too, and Envy didn't listen to it.
They know what it was. He was like, I need you to play this on the radio. This is art. I was like, I can't just play something on the radio just because you my guy.
Right. He went hard on it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Shout out to Neil because he was right.
He was right.
That boy is cultural.
Yeah, he was absolutely right.
All right, now I had this little game that I wanted to play with you this morning, Mr. Andre Harrell. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to give you two artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to say which one would you sign and which one would you not sign. So out of these two, you got to pick which one would you sign, okay?
Oh.
Woo-woo. All right. Future or Gucci Mane? You can only pick one.
Ooh, that's
Gucci
a tough
Man.
one. Gucci. Why Gucci?
The authentic, the original.
And he also has a lot of other artists, I guess, that he has put on as
Gucci's
well. He
a
has
great
a good ear.
A&R.
All right. Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Ooh. Ooh, these are tough ones.
Drake.
That's right, Babe's
commercial
brother.
Success.
I just like the songs.
Okay.
But Kendrick got the street and he has the songs as well. They're kind of, I ain't gonna say similar, but they both have a fan base that is amazing. Core fan base
doubt.
that will follow them, stands crazy.
Kendrick is more of the poet to me.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I listen to Kendrick and I get like choked up about like if something's happening in the news, and then I listen to some Kendrick and you're like, damn, that's powerful.
He riles you
Drake is more like a party guy.
Right.
Like you can hear his records partying.
Right.
He's singing broken heart songs, but he's singing it to a 2-step beat.
Absolutely.
All right, Babyface or Keith Sweat?
Babyface.
Easy one. All right.
141 top 10 hits.
Janet Jackson or Jennifer Lopez?
Janet Jackson.
All right, I'm glad these are coming easy. Belle Biv DeVoe or Boyz II Men?
Belle Biv DeVoe.
He's the party guy right here.
But
Edge.
Boyz II Men had a lot of hits. If she would have said New Edition and Boyz II Men, that's different. So you'd have picked, you still pick Boyz II Men. End of the road?
I would
He
pick
picked Belle
BB
Biv DeVoe over there.
Okay.
because of their attitude. They have more edge. I always like groups with attitude.
Edge. Okay.
Rick Ross or 50 Cent?
50 Cent. Up in the club.
Puff, he's not gonna be working for Puff any longer now. That's it. It's a wrap.
Well, you didn't say under conspicuous of Puff.
No.
You just asked
DMX or Ja Rule?
DMX.
Said that one fast.
The authentic.
All right, The Game or Meek Mill?
Like how you threw that one in there. You high five.
The Game.
Really? Why the Game over Meek Mill?
I know The Game. He cool.
And the last one I have for you is Jagged Edge or Drew Hill?
Jagged Edge.
All right.
We just want to get married.
Just that one song alone isn't enough
Like
for you.
that just held on.
What inspires you to still do music?
Because music is where you learn about culture first. Like it's not on in the movies, it's not in the news. The first place you learn what the problems are or what the new thing is on records. So for me, it just keeps me young and it keeps culture moving forward. And I've always been interested in how culture moves.
Mm-hmm.
So for me,
okay.
that's really my motivation.
When we talking
And I
about,
like teaching too. And you could teach a lot in the music business because music on the radio is like a big brother.
Mm-hmm.
Tells you right, wrong, or tells you a lot of wrong right now.
right.
All right, now let's talk about this being the 3rd annual Revolt Music Conference.
Mm-hmm.
What did you find worked like the last 2 years, and what did you find didn't work? So how this one is going to be a little bit different? How is it
Okay.
evolved?
The one thing I noticed about the Revolt Music Conference is people go in these panels and they want more time to ask questions. So say if a panel is an hour, so 45 minutes will be spent with the panelists talking about stuff, and then 15 minutes for questions. People really want to ask questions for an hour and 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
So what we decided to do is to add a breakout panel, which is a smaller panel, about the same subject where people can go in. If there's 30 really interested people that want to sit down and talk about it some more and get more insight, they can. And that's the big difference, a little more
That's dope.
touchy-feely, so you can really get what you came to get out of it.
right.
I think the only problem I had with the Revolt Music Conference is I loved everything that it was. I loved the performances. I loved giving the artists the shot, giving the artists the chance. I loved the celebration of music. The only thing I thought was a lot of times, a lot of the questions were redundant. Because they were struggling artists or struggling producers, and their questions were always, how do I get on? You know, and you can't tell everybody the same answer all the time. How do I get
It's
on? How do I
different
get
for
on?
everybody anyway.
Right, so how can a producer get on? How can an artist? If you're an artist right now and you're dead nice and you think you're the best thing out, how can I get a deal? How can I get on? What would Andre Harrell say?
Well, for me, when I first got my record deal, I went to see Joe Busby, right, at MCA at the time. And he was looking for an A&R exec. So he flew me and my attorney out there, Marty Michant. And Marty told me on the plane, we're not going to get an A&R job. We're going to get a production deal. This is in like 1986. I said, a production deal? What's that? He said, we're going to get $1 million. So we sit in the first class. My first time sitting in the first class. I'm like, all right. So we get in there, and Joe Busby introduces me to Irving Azoff, who's the chairman at the time. And Marty Michant said, let me take it from here, Joe. He said, Andre Harrell is here to start a production company. The price is $1 million. So Irving Azoff sat back, and he said, Gerald, did you mean to offer this young man $1 million? Joe Busby probably was making $175,000.
Right.
He wasn't looking to pay me 5 times the amount he was making as
right.
the highest ranking black executive in the music business. So I was dismissed from that meeting fairly quickly.
I thought this was going to be, I got it, though.
Wait, I went home, and Marty, my attorney, who looked like Ben Franklin with white hair, he stayed and said, I'm going to handle this. So I'm waiting by the phone. It was 5 o'clock, 6, 7, 8, no calls. So finally when I called Marty said, they're going to get back to us.
Uh-oh.
And your plane leaves tomorrow. He's staying in Malibu for the weekend. And I'm saying, Marty, you realize I'm going back to a studio apartment in Left Rack City. You're going back to Fifth Avenue. You're rich. This right here was making a breaker for me.
Right.
He said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So when I got home, I got on the plane. I was in first class. I ate all the peanuts, drank all the alcohol,
Right.
as if I would never be back.
Right.
So I had to start working Gerald Busby's assistant, Sheila. So I would send her my Teddy Riley records, my God records, and ask her how she liked them and made her feel important. So she picked the right time to play it for Gerald Busby. And when he heard it, he gave me a deal. So that being said, you don't always have to work the guy at top. Sometimes you can work as intern. Sometimes you can work as assistant. You just need to work somebody who has their ear.
And that's
Gotcha.
interesting because you said you haven't even heard from the 300 people that have sent their music in. But if some of those people were working to people there and reaching out to people who are actually the ones that are going through the filtering process, then that could be the way to get to your ear.
100%.
Who are those people? No.
So we didn't know. Who's your intern? Who's your assistant? We need to know that. That's what we need to know.
You got to come to RMC and see which person is following me around. Target them.
Usher was up here recently, and he was talking about a lot of artists don't have shows the way they used to. Like their stage shows just kind of suffer. They're lacking. What do you think? Who impresses you now?
Miguel impresses me as an overall great artist. I remember when he did the Grammys 2 years ago, and he absolutely destroyed it. He absolutely destroyed it. Now, who else really gives a good show that's part of the new vanguard of talent? He's the one that stands out in my mind. Anybody who stands out in your mind?
Besides Usher and Miguel, I can't really think of anybody.
I mean, that's new.
That's new.
That's Newton. Nah, I can't.
Because
Really.
I always think Chris Brown always is a great show, but he's
Oh,
not
Chris-
new.
but
Chris Brown is not new.
Yeah,
though.
he's not new.
He's just young,
Yeah.
and he's dope.
He's definitely dope.
I'm trying to think because it is very true. When he said it, I was like, who actually, when I go and see them perform, you can tell that they're doing everything they're supposed to do, the singing, the dancing, the
I tell you who.
entertaining, putting on a show.
I tell you, the baddest boy out performing is Bruno Mars.
Oh, Bruno Mars
Bruno
is
Mars, yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
I remember I went
he's
to his first New York show, and I was so impressed.
I was there too.
Yeah, I was there.
What that was the Bowery Room.
Yeah, that was the Bowery Ballroom.
Yeah, he was dope right then and there.
He was incredible because he has the whole band. It's him and the whole band, the way they perform together.
And you could tell that he used to sing all the time, like at bars and weddings.
I'm trying to think who else impresses me.
I can't think of anybody else.
All right, now, also when we get out there, what are some of the other panels and the direction of music? Because I realize now this wasn't as big last year, but it's blown up a lot since then. Podcasts.
Yeah, podcasts.
A lot of people are asking about podcasts.
We have a panel on podcasts, and we call that the new hustle because it seems like a lot of people who are in their second part of their career starting to expound on their knowledge on podcasts.
Absolutely.
So we have a panel on that. We have a panel on streaming and terrestrial radio.
Right.
We got a panel on music marketing. We got Al Branch on that, Nicki Minaj's managers. Tracy Waples is on that. Jeff Sanchez from the NBA is on that, how they use music and marketing. Our own Kenny Burns from Ciroc, how he uses music and marketing.
Shout out to Kenny.
We got Women in Social Media panel. We got the Lost Art of A&R and Artist Development with Daryl Jones.
That's an important one. I want to ask you about that when you finish too, because there's no A&Rs anymore.
Well,
There's
let's
nobody
talk about
training
that.
these artists. There's nobody helping these artists and developing these artists.
Well, it feels like they want artists to come already ready, like already have a following, already know how to perform, already have. It feels like labels are signing artists that already have a buzz.
How could they know? Like,
I
how
don't
could
think
the artists
that.
know?
I think most of the things you said were right, except ready to perform. I think because they have a record, because they have a social media following, because maybe their booking shows, people are trying to sign those artists because there's not the same level of profit that there was in just straight up selling records. So there's less time that they could spend in incubation trying to develop these artists. And I do think records suffer and artists suffer because of that.
Absolutely.
Because they get a hit record and they're learning how to perform on your dime. When I say on your dime, on the consumer's dime who goes to see a great show.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see how that's going to change unless there's outside artist development companies that record companies start to hire.
Right.
Now that should be a ring for somebody. Somebody should be saying that's a new
Let me
job
start
right
that.
there.
Now you're right, but like you said, with your label, you help guide those careers. You help make those artists, tell them how to sing, how to do a hook, how to perform, when to take off their shirt, when to not take off their shirt, which helped in their career. And most of the artists that you sign are still actively performing. But nowadays a lot of these guys are one-hit wonders because they don't have any of that. They got lucky with a record, and that's all they have.
A lot of it feels like hustling instead of artistry.
Right.
Like if I could just get a hit, if I could just get my social media name out there, I could eat for 10 years with one hit or something.
Right.
But not necessarily be great, and not necessarily build a career, not necessarily become a superstar. Because the one thing that you see consistent from the stars who exist now, they never stop. Jay-Z never stopped. Kanye never stops. Puff Daddy, he just never stops. They all keep going. So it's part of the journey. Like a lot of people are doing it as trying to get the road to meet at some end, but it's really the ones who enjoy the journey of the process of creating something new, going to the studio and making a record and making something that they're giving the universe a gift. And then practicing the fine art of communicating the song and the emotion of the song on stage. And all of that is an art form, and the more you do it, the better you get at it. It's not just a hustle.
Now, what do you think about all this beef that's been happening lately? Like people tweeting each other, people beefing with each other, showing up places. You think that's good or bad for music?
I think so long as people don't hurt each other physically, it can be entertaining. But once it gets to the point of so disrespectful that it's going to explode, that's dangerous.
Right.
We don't want anybody to get hurt.
Right.
And social media adds a lot to that, too. I feel like people chiming in and making things worse than it really has to be.
Yep.
Now, how much is going to be on the actual network from all these panels? Are we taping a lot of them? Is it going to be a little?
All
bit?
of them.
Oh, so all the panels are going to be actually on Revolt.
They're running now from 2014, 2015. They're on the air now, so you can see firsthand what it looks like. And if you want to go to the website, you go to Revolt Music Conference .com, and you could go and see all the packages and see some of the panels and see who's going to be there. Like this year, we got Leor Cohen doing a keynote speak from 300, and I'm happy to see Leor being there because Leor kind of was quiet after he left Warner Brothers.
Right.
Because in the record business, when you get to the top of the game, and for whatever reason you're no longer there, you kind of disappear. Like Tommy Mottola, when he left Sony, you didn't hear from Tommy Mottola no more. So it's not just a black thing; it's an anybody thing. So Leor coming back as an independent and having hit records, and him feeling excited about it is exciting to me.
Because I've been seeing him everywhere with Young Thug lately.
Right?
Everywhere he's taking Young Thug to interviews.
Fetty Wap too, yeah.
Yeah, Fetty Wap. You could tell that he's really like, okay, we're going to get this,
He has something to prove.
He got something to prove.
Absolutely.
Well, that's exciting.
We're all excited about the Revolt Music Conference.
Oh, yeah, every year we're always out there. So.
And Julie Greenwald, she's going to do a keynote.
That is I absolutely love Julie Greenwald, so I'm excited to see her. I'm going to be there for that.
And she's thorough, and Atlantic Records is the most successful, profitable record company in the business right now.
Really?
And she got a lot to do with that.
That's dope.
All right.
Well,
there's a lot of people that you could learn from when you come out there. Now, I know last year and the year before that when we were there were a lot of people coming up to us, giving us music and, all kinds of thumb drives and everything. How can somebody catch your eye as a DJ, Envy?
Me?
That's out there, honestly. Like, besides just giving you some music, besides giving you a thumb drive.
I don't want to tell them because then they're going to do, all right, this one dude did this, right? When we get there. Shut up. There's 50, hundreds of USB drives. But what he did was, you could tell that he, I might get in trouble for this, but what he did was he found these two twins, girls, right? And he had them dressed up in bathing suits and heels. And he had them giving away the USB drives. Who's not going to take a USB drive from two females? Twins.
Okay.
I listened to it.
So you even listened to it?
I listened to it. I mean, I took it. I was like,
Right.
Damn, he paid for these twins. He paid for the marketing. I got to give him an opportunity because he thought outside the box. He didn't just say, I'm just going to give DJ Envy.
Were they fine?
Yes.
Oh, did you say that before?
I said they were fine.
He said he thought
Okay.
outside their box.
Okay.
But I listened to the records. Now, the records weren't my
Were
cup
they
of
good?
tea. They were all right. But it made me listen to it.
Yeah, I just want to say, don't go through all this marketing and stuff if your records ain't up to point, though, because a lot of people.
But everybody
True.
thinks they hot.
Yeah,
everybody thinks they're
everybody.
amazing.
Don't let the marketing be better than the actual product.
Right.
Spend a little more money on the product.
Are you going to be out there while we're broadcasting live in the morning on
Yep.
Friday?
Yep.
Because we didn't see you last year.
I'll get up and be with y'all. I start out at 9 o'clock with Julie on Friday. She's the first one up, so I'm going to be up.
All right, we'll be there at 6.
Yeah, I'll be there around 8.
Last year, we didn't hear from Andre. The only thing we heard was he had a yacht party. Remember the party he had?
Yeah, he did.
The Apple Yacht Party.
The Apple yacht party. That was the only thing we heard from him.
All I know is I'm going to find out when we get there. I'm going to find out what room he's in. I'm going to call your room in the morning. I'm going to be like, Andre, we heading down, so, hurry up, get ready.
If you call my room, I'm coming down.
We're going to have champagne for you.
All right.
And bubbles.
I'm going to have my clothes laid out so it won't be a problem. So I have no excuse. Now, this year, we're giving the Revolt Jimmy Iovine Icon Award to
Who?
Nas Escobar.
Nas.
Be the
I saw
first
that.
artist.
Okay.
And I just want to say, I came when last time I remember you guys had that dinner and Jimmy Iovine spoke at it and he talked about, starting Beats by Dre with Dr. Dre and all of that. It was a very inspirational conversation. So I did learn a lot myself.
No. Okay.
And last year we gave it to L.A. Reid,
Mm-hmm.
and Nas will be the first artist that gets it.
Good
So
for him.
we're excited
Nas is
about
doing
it.
a lot because he
Very
just did
deserving.
the Get Down.
He did the Get
He
Down.
executive
He's a
produced
music-
the Get Down. He
Mhm.
executive produced The Land.
Yeah.
He's
He
in
did
a-
this fashion thing on CNN.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting in a
He's
lot
been
of
moving.
things.
He's
Mass
an investor
Appeal,
in
right?
Bevel.
Isn't he
He's
part
yeah,
owner
yeah.
of
investor in Mass Appeal and Bevel,
He
Uber.
he has a
Was it Lyft, one of them.
he has a fund, the Queensbridge Venture Partnerships.
And they do like technology. Yeah.
They do technology and other businesses like Mass Appeal.
Y'all got to pay attention to Nas.
I
Oh,
was
he's
doing
quiet.
No, I'm glad that you guys are honoring him. So I'll make sure we're
He's
at
a
that
great
as well.
guy.
Yes, he is.
All
All right. Well, Revolt Music Conference goes down the 13th through the 16th in October. Get your tickets if you want to know how. Hit up the website. It's revolt.tv, revolttv.com.
Oh,
Revolt.tv. That
Envy,
was close.
Man, oh, man.
Andre Harrell was supposed to help me there.
You was looking that way. I was gonna let her help you. Let her get some shine. But you was gonna step into the camera.
All right. Well, get your tickets and we'll see you down there. It's the Breakfast Club. It's Andre Harrell.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in